Make a start now. Good afternoon and welcome to our second class together for MAF21. I hope you already have had your first lecture with the course coordinator, Mr. Gyokata, where he must have done the orientation of the course, and I am here only for today. Next week onwards, he will continue to take the lectures. So before we actually begin with the class today, I must remind us that on a weekly basis, you will be required to attend 2 lectures and 1 tutorial session. Okay, a 1 2-hour tutorial session. So make sure you go onto the Moodle page of this particular course and you sign up. Okay, it's important that you sign up for your tutorial session. Anybody has any questions in regards to how you go about doing that? If you do, if you're not sure how to go about on your Moodle page and where to sign up for your tutorial session, please do let me know at the end of the session. Alright, so what do we have installed for today? Remember, this particular course, like Mr. Gyokata has already mentioned to you, will have 3 course books, and I see that some of you have already collected your course material from the book center. Wonderful. Please do spend time at your leisure to have a look at those particular books. So we'll start with course book number 1 today, which is known as Mathematics of Commercial and Business Transactions. So every class that you will attend will have a goal that you must achieve at the end of that particular class. Must have an objective that you should be able to fulfill at the end of the class. So what are the learning goals? What are the objectives that we want to achieve at the end of this particular class? Okay. So at the end of this particular class, boys and girls, we want to make sure how to use a calculator. And let me emphasize this: when you start attending your tutorial sessions this week or later next week, in fact you should attend this week, but if not, that's okay. Next week we will start with proper solving of questions. So make sure you bring your calculator to the class. It's very important. We will also learn at the end of the session today how to deal with fractions, all right? And not forgetting how to deal with decimals, and definitely how to work with percentages. So at the bottom right hand corner of your screen, you see that I have written one number in 3 different forms. So can you tell me what is the first form in which that particular number is written? What form of the number is that? It is written as a percentage. The second one is a decimal, and the last one is a fraction. So at the end of the day today, at the end of the session today, we'll see how these 3 forms can be used in MAF21. Right? If you have any questions for me, please don't hesitate to let me know. Unit 1, like I said, understanding the calculator. I won't be spending much time on this today here. I hope you all have used one earlier, and you are quite familiar with the functions of the calculator. So when you attend your tutorial sessions later this week, your tutor will be speaking more about how a calculator can be used. All right, the basics for today's session and for this particular course is, guys, order of operations. Right? It's important that we understand in mathematics which operations need to be carried out first, which need to be carried out later. Okay, so very quickly, what does the B in the acronym BADMAS stand for? It stands for brackets. So we will try to deal with all operations that are inside the brackets first. Having done that, you will then go on to those that have exponents in it. Now, exponents could mean the radical sign, which is the square root sign, or those that have a power in it. So having done with brackets, you deal with those which have square roots or those which have powers. Okay, you notice that next 2 have the same color code. There's a reason for that. Anybody? Why do we have the same color code for D and M? Division and multiplication. Right, because we can do any one of those operations, whichever comes first from left to Right. So when we give you a problem, you move the problem from left to right. You have dealt with all the brackets. You have dealt with all the exponents. Now you want to make a choice between division and multiplication. Move from left to right. Whichever you see first, carry out that operation. Likewise, look at the last two blocks. They share the same color code. So the last operation in any simplification rather would be addition and subtraction. Right. I guess this is not new to us. We have already seen this in the past. Right. Look at this question here on your screen. How many operations, listen to my question first, how many operations does this particular question have? What are operations? Multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. These are operations. How many operations do you see on the screen? Let's count together. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4. 4 operations. Which one do you want me to do first? So I remember bad maths. There's no bracket there. There's no exponents there. There's no square root. There's no power there. What comes next? Division or multiplication left to right. So which calculation do you want us to do first? 30 divide negative 5. Right? That's the first operation that I will be doing. 30 divide negative 5. Okay, so what is the result of 30 divide negative 5? Do we need a calculator to do that, guys? I don't think so. 30 divided negative 5 would be negative 6. Yeah? Two negative numbers multiplied to give you a positive result. Right, so here I get negative 6. What will be the next operation? So is it a plus, is it times, is it addition? What will I do after that? I will need to do multiplication. Yes or no? Okay, so that's the result. 30 divided negative 5. And my next operation, like you agreed with me, is going to be, guys, multiplication. So when I multiply 4 with negative 2, it's going to give me minus 8. Which one do you reckon I do now? How many operations left to go? 2. Which one? Both are addition, whichever comes first from left to right. Alright, let's keep going. That's the operation I want to do first. That's going to give me minus 14, and I get 0. Alright, let's pick up the calculator, everybody. Let's pick up the calculator and enter whatever you see in this block up here on your calculator. Press equals. So you're going to press 30 divide negative 5 plus 4 times minus 2 plus 14 followed by equals in that same order. I want us to press equals after we have done that. What result does the calculator give us? 0. And let's see what result did we get when we did this problem one step at a time. Okay, so you notice that your calculator is programmed in such a way that it will always obey the order of operation. You don't have to tell the calculator which operation to do first. It knows I have to do division and multiplication followed by addition and subtraction. But for assessments, problem like this, you don't just write 0. I need us to show the steps. I want to know which operation you are doing first in the test or in the assessment for that matter. Alright, let's look at the first example on the screen. Let's get busy with our calculator, guys. 12 minus 4 times 2 plus 7, press equals. Everything in one line, press equals. Tell me the result that your calculator tells you. 11? Okay, great. But if I'm doing an assessment, I need to show the steps. Which one do you think I must do first? Which operation? Multiplication, 4 times 2. Wonderful. You got me there? So 4 times 2 will give me 8. And remember, I am writing negative 8 because of the minus sitting in front of the 4. Right, which operation now? I have a subtraction, I have an addition. Remember the same color codes for D and M, A and S? Yes? So whichever comes first from left to right. So that would be subtraction first, followed by the last addition, and that gives me whatever your calculator was. Try out the second one on your calculator, quick. Once you're ready, come again, dear. Minus 8, okay. But if I want to show all the steps in detail, I have a division, I have a subtraction, I have a multiplication. Which one you suggest we do first? We do division. Yeah, sounds good. Now multiplication will be done. So 6 times 2 would be a 12 with a minus in between the two, and that would give me the calculator result that I expected. Alright, be careful with this one when you plug into your calculator. There are brackets used. So when you enter, after 3 you will use open bracket, after minus 2 open bracket, after 8 you will need to plug in 2 close brackets. Okay? Close brackets you need to press twice at the end. Check what result does your calculator give for this one. And let's compare the result with what we're going to do now. Okay, tell me. Remember BADMAS, we said we want to do brackets first. Which operation, guys, you suggest we want to do first? Notice that there is a bracket from 6 to 8. And within that bracket, there is another innermost. So we want to do the innermost bracket first. Okay, I hope you're with me. You want to do the innermost bracket first, which is 5 plus 8, which is going to give me a 13. Now inside that bracket, you notice that there is a subtraction, and the 2 and the 13 is a multiplication. So do I do that subtraction first? Do I say 6 minus 2, 4? Or do I say 2 times 13, 26? Think. Which one would you do? Multiplication first, okay? Order of operation. Multiplication first. Wonderful. Now I only have 6 and 26 inside that bracket, and only one operation. Work becomes easier. 6 take away 26. That would be minus 20. And of course, outside the bracket, I have negative 3. Okay? Outside the bracket, remember I have negative 3, and that negative 3 has to be multiplied with the result that comes out of the brackets. No confusion at this stage? Looks good? So multiplication would be the next step. That would give me a positive 60 because I'm multiplying two negative numbers. And check, does your calculator give you the same number? Does it? Yes, okay. So this is what we expect you to do in assessments. We need you to show us the individual steps. So when you walk into your tutorial sessions this week, later next week, you will be practicing more on this. But not only depending on the calculator, but basically showing me all the different steps. Alright, now moving further on to something different. We are now going to look at operations with fractions. So let's again go back to the calculator, guys, and ask the calculator to tell us the result of this operation. I hope you know how to enter this on the calculator. 6 fraction key, 2 fraction key, 3. 6 and 2/3. Anybody not sure how to enter 6 and 2/3? Let me know. Yeah, great. So that is the fraction key there. 6 fraction key, 2 fraction. So that's 6 and 2/3. Minus. That's how you're going to enter the others. You know how to do 6 and 2/3? It is fraction key, A, B, C. Yeah, you got it right. 6 and 2/3. There. Perfect? You okay with 6 and 2/3? Good. Minus 3.5 multiply with 1 and 2/3. Get your result? And once you press equals, your calculator will give you a solution. And how do I read that solution? 5/6. Decide a little 5/6. Alright, so for questions like this, what do we do first? We change each number, okay, we change each number from its mixed number form. Currently it is written as a mixed number. So change its form from mixed number into an improper fraction. Even that, your calculator does it for you. Okay, even that your calculator does it for you. I will tell you how. Okay, but how do we do it manually without the calculator? How did I get 20/3? Anybody? 3 multiplied with 6, so you start with the denominator. 3 times 6, 18, plus 2, 20, divide by the number you see down here. This one, don't worry about the minus sign, don't touch it, okay, don't touch the minus sign, just the numbers here. 3 times 2, 6, plus 1, 7/2. 3 times 1, 3, plus 2, 5/3. So that's how I change into an improper fraction. But if I want my calculator to do it for me, let's try it. Let's clear your calculator screen for now. Let's clear your calculator screen. enter 6 and 2/3 on the calculator, press equals. Enter 6 and 2/3, press equals. Now there is a shift key. Shift followed by the fraction key once again. Shift followed by the fraction key once again. What do you get? Good? So if you don't want to do it manually, remember your calculator can help you change from a mixed number into an improper fraction. Anybody still needs help? My friend from Tuvalu, you okay? Good? Alright, let's move on. So that's step number 1. What's step number 2? We need to now decide which operation we want to carry out. Is it subtraction or is it multiplication? Multiplication, right. Again, you will pick up your calculator and you will say 7 over 2 times 5 over 3. Right? That's a simple multiplication. You can also do it, guys, without the use of your calculator. Right? You can also do it without the use of your calculator. So that gives you 35 over 6. And finally, what I'm doing here is I'm making the denominator for both fractions to be the same. So how do I change this to a denominator of 6? Multiply by 2 down here and multiply by 2 up here. Yes? Times 2 times 2. Sorry, yes, times 2 times 2. So that the denominators on both sides are the same. Now you subtract the numerator, 40 minus 35. And that becomes your final result. And I guess that's what your calculator gave you in the very beginning, 5 over 6. Wonderful? Questions? Any particular step of this calculation you need me to talk about it once more? How to change from mixed number to improper fraction? Looks good. Your calculator will do it for you. Even step 1, your calculator does it for you. Step 2, you carry out multiplication. Step 3, you carry out subtraction. Then you get your final result. Eh? Right, great. Now once you have understood that, let's look at this problem here. Again, a mixed number. All of those are mixed numbers. So first what you want to do is you want to change those into improper fraction. Like I said, you enter this in your calculator, it does for you. So what you're going to do is you're going to enter 8 and 1/3. Don't touch the minus sign. Like I said, don't disturb the minus sign. Leave it as it is. 8 and 1/3, 2 and 2, 7, 4 and 3, 5. You just need to change those from one form to another. I give you a few seconds to quickly verify if you're happy with those numbers up there. Right, thumbs up. Which operation to carry out first? Is it the subtraction or is it the division? I hope you agree with me. It's going to be division. Okay. One way of dividing fractions, guys. One way of dividing fractions is to multiply by the reciprocal. I hope that's clear with everybody. So once you change the division sign to multiplication, okay, once you change the division sign to multiplication when you are dealing with fractions, you take the reciprocal of the fraction on the right hand side. But if you don't do this step, your calculator does this directly for you. Okay? But that's just another way of looking at line number 2. So change it to multiplication, take the reciprocal of the second fraction. We'll do multiplication first. Again, you don't have to do this manually. Your calculator, guys, will multiply the two numbers for you. Subtraction is the last part. You either leave your answer as a mixed number or you leave your answer as an improper fraction. The choice is yours. Looking good? Okay, wonderful. Fractions to decimals. How do we change the following to decimals? And you're supposed to write your answer to the given number of decimal places. So first one, 7 divide 17. Again, we pick up the calculator. 7 divide 17, press equals. But remember, the requirement of the question is to write it correct to 3 decimal place. So how do you round off to 3 decimal place? Look at the next digit. Next digit means the 4th digit after the point. So after the point, you notice that the 4th digit is the number 7. So if that number is 5 or more, you add 1 to the previous number. So it's going to become 0.412. Okay, try the next one, guys. 9 divide 19. Tell me what it is going to be correct to 2 decimal place. Yes? Two decimal place? 0.47. Yes, correctly said. Two decimal place. You look at the third digit after the point. So third digit is a number less than 5, which means your final answer is only going to be 0.47. Well said. Correct. Last one. Two decimal place. Write your answer to two decimal place. For part C. Two decimal place means you want to look at the third digit after the decimal point. Okay, third digit after the decimal point is 5. Remember I said 5 or more, add 1 to the previous number. But unfortunately in this case the previous number is already 9. So collectively 0.89, which is read as 89 in here, 89 when you add 1 to it, look here, 89. When you add 1 to it, it's going to become 90. See? So if that digit is a 9, you look at one more digit before that. And you read it as a 2-digit number. 89, add 1 becomes 90. Any questions? Good. No problem with that one. Right, let's look at the next slide. How do we change decimals to fractions? Okay, let's see if our calculator can help us with this. Okay, on your calculator, you will enter 0.8, press equals. Just enter 0.8 plus, press equals. Did it? Alright, now I want to change this into a fraction. Let's try pressing the fraction key or the shift followed by the fraction key. Shift followed by the fraction key. Does it change it into a fraction? Yes, it does. So you know your calculator does it for you. In the assessment, in the exam, you have to show me this working. How did you get 4 over 5? Right? So remember 0.8 is the same as 8 over 10. Under the decimal, you write the digit 1. Under 8, you write 0. So start by writing 1 under the decimal point and zeros for all the other digits. And write this number without the point on top. And then you simplify. So you get 4 over 5. Likewise, 0.65, your calculator will do it for you. But in the assessment, you must tell me why 13 over 20. So 0.65 over 100 when you simplify. Again, I told you, your calculator simplifies for you. Let's try. 65 over 100. Enter in your calculator. 65, fraction key, 100, press equals. Does it simplify? Yeah? So all these things that we are doing today can be done on your calculator. That's why my first slide today was getting to know how to use your calculator. So I'm emphasizing today, tutorial sessions this week onwards. Make sure you start getting your calculators in the class. Right, last one. Similar way. Change it into a fraction. You can either do it directly, 0.648, press equals. Then you will press shift followed by the fraction key. It gives you the fraction form. Otherwise, you write it as a number over 1000. You know why over 1000? Because there are 3 digits after the point. So number over 1000, simplify on your calculator and you get the same result. Good going? Right, write the following as simplified fractions and decimals. Remember, there are 2 parts to the question. Okay? 2 parts to the question. So for each one, you will change that into a fraction and into a decimal. So part A has 2 answers, part B has 2 answers, like that. Alright, so tell me, how do you write a percentage into a fraction? Anybody? 64%. How do I write it as a fraction? Wonderful, 64 over 100. And how do I write it as a decimal? My calculator does it for you. 64 divided by 100, I press equals, my calculator tells me it's 0.64. So this is the fraction in its simplified form. It says, write the following as simplified fraction. So that's my simplified fraction and that is my decimal. Are we there? So not only you are writing it as a fraction, like my friend said, 64 over 100, you are writing it as a simplified fraction and you are converting it into a decimal. Alright, try the next one. How will you do the next one? How will you write 36.5 as a simplified fraction? Remember, the rule is saying percentage into a fraction will be over 100. So this number 36.5 over 100. And press equals, your calculator simplifies that fraction for you. So did we get 73 over 200? Yeah? And we need to write that as a decimal. Again, your calculator does it for you. Alright, last one. 6 3/4 is a fraction. There we go. That's how I do it. I tell myself that 3/4 is the same as 0.75. So 6.75 into a fraction means divide by 100. Simplify that fraction and change it into a decimal. All these slides that we are sharing now, class, you don't have to write it down, okay? Don't worry about writing these slides down. These slides are available on your Moodle page for this particular course. So when you go to MAF21 week 1 lesson notes, you will see all this available for you there. Don't have to worry about writing. Alright, now going backwards. Decimals or fractions, how do we write these into percentages? Anyone? What do we do when we want to write a decimal or when we want to write a fraction into a percentage? What do we do? For the last one you said divide by 100. For this one it's going to be the other way around, multiply by 100. Yes, so simply multiply all those by 100 and it will change into percentage. There, times 100, times 100, times 100. So simple rules, although it looks simple, looks straightforward, looks very petty, looks very easy, during assessments we tend to mix these simple rules. So practice is important. Start practicing these rules from your course book number 1. Start practicing these rules from your tutorial worksheet number 1. Alright, recap. What did we do today? We learned how to use the calculator. Did we? Did we do that? Yes. You did really hands-on experience your calculator. Did we work with fractions? Yes, we did. Did we work with decimals? Did we work with percentages? Yes, definitely we did all those. Now, what is on hand for you to do? Student activity. Where? Tutorial worksheet from your Moodle share. Right, what do you do in our next class? What do we expect to learn, guys, in our next session, in our next lecture? In our next class, we plan to learn how to simplify ratios. Okay? We also want to divide a number into a given ratio, and we will round up the next session by looking at how to use a proportion to solve problems. Well, that's basically what I had on my plate for you guys today, and I must thank you for your participation. Thank you for your attendance. We'll close up the day there. Naka.